Hi, and welcome to the Front Porch's open house. The Front Porch is a program from Northeast Kingdom Human Services, and it is a crisis stabilization bed with 4 beds and also a walk-in treatment center. So this is a 24/7, so open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will hope to be opened mid-December. But this is our open house to kind of share the space that we've created with the help of community partners and our construction crew and just so many people that have had a real significant part in getting this going and stood up. So come on a tour. So this is the main community space here. It's for people to just spend time connecting. I mean, the whole idea for this space is to create something that is warm and welcoming and home-like.
This is the common area for the 4 stabilization events, so people can come out and spend time together. And so really, you in your own room, you have your private space. If you want to come out and get some food or see other people, you can come out. And this is really the kind of cafe area. You can access the kitchen. What else you can come into the living room area where you can spend time together. We'll also be running groups out of here, so there'll be opportunities to connect with folks and attend therapeutic groups and supports. So right now it's fully funded by the state legislature, and so you come in, it's free, and we collect some information to do some reporting. I think eventually that will take all insurance forms, but right now it is free for anybody that comes in. Yep, it will be. Yep. And so we'll be going into the legislative session and doing some advocacy to see what it looks like. But at least through June 30th of 2026, it's free for everybody to come down.
That's lovely, and it is gorgeous.
Yes, good.
Thank you, Kelsey.
So my name's Lindsay Muzzy, and I'm the Emergency Services Program Manager at Northeast Kingdom Human Services. I'm really proud of this place, and looking forward to all of the people that are going to utilize this. I think there's a need for this in this area. People need services, need support, and I think that it's going to be a great service for everybody.
What are the major support services that we get?
Short-term therapy. They can stay for up to 23 hours. They get to meet with a peer. And then there's going to be the 2 to 10 day stay where people can stay for short-term stabilization.
Very nice. Hello, Anya, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Jillian MacDonald. I'm the interim Front Porch Manager. And I'm really excited to bring this to the community and offer support that has been needed for a long time for our clients and community.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Rhode Island.
Well, welcome to Newport.
Yeah, but I've worked for the agency for about 5 years.
And has this been a lifelong goal for you?
Yeah, I've been wanting to help people since I was younger, and then I just continued my education to be able to do it.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
And here we are with you.
Hello, my name is Alicia Webb, and I'm the 988 Program Manager at Northeast Kingdom Services.
This is suicide prevention.
Yep, so 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and so folks can text, they can call, or they can go online and chat to 988 anytime they're feeling any sort of mental health distress or looking for some sort of support. So I'm really excited to be able to offer the Front Porch as a resource for those calling in.
Where is your call center?
Our call center is located in the Northeast Kingdom in Vermont, so it's really it's cool that we get to be a part of the community, but we work with folks all over the state of Vermont.
Well, you do great work.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Barrett, and this is my wonderful wife, Betty Barrett, who's an awesome person, and you need to hear this.
Okay. I became involved with mental health back in 2012. We had Out of the Darkness walk to prevent suicide. I and 3 other mothers started it, and I did it for 5 years, and we had a tremendous outcome on it. Almost 300 walkers, well over $20,000. So I got embedded with the community, and they were saying that they didn't really have good mental health treatment. So I decided to go on a mission to get better treatment. I started with the hospital with the CEO, and then he left, and then COVID hit. So what I did, I ended up writing a letter to the governor, and I told him about that we don't get really good treatment up here. Well, he put $2 million in his budget for the building. And then I met with the Department of Mental Health, Vermont Department, And then I met with Kelsey, mental health. And this is what we have.
It's an absolutely beautiful facility.
Yes, it
The
is.
colors have been chosen by people who know how people should feel when they walk into a place like
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not a sterile environment or institution.
No.
that. It is beautiful.
Now, I'm a 2-time suicide attempt survivor myself. I lost my son, Michael, in 2004 to suicide. And thank you. And they did. The colors are great because you don't want ER white
No,
at all.
And the community has welcomed you with open arms.
Definitely, most definitely needed.
Yes.
Mental health touches every family.
Yes.
It's been an extra tool for law enforcement, and it's been a relief for the hospital because they were warehousing.
Yeah.
And now, unless it's a medical reason for them to be at the hospital, they can send them over here.
The doctors and the nurses are just ecstatic about it. They are just so happy that we have this here. And I am too, because I was on a psych ward, more than once.
Yeah, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, no.
I mean,
No.
you take a look at anybody's family tree, and if they haven't had somebody either institutionalized for treatment or lost somebody to suicide,
Yes.
then their family tree is really odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
My brother ended his own like 40 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I started a newspaper called the Optimist Newspaper. It went to 28 states and 4 countries, and I did it for 30 years in his memory. And I was the only newspaper in North America that concentrates on suicide, counter-suicide. And I got kicked out of some areas because they didn't want to talk about it.
Well, when we started it, it was like people said, it's about time that we start talking about this, Because I was a little nervous at first because I told my story, that, I tried suicide and then losing my son. And it's very hard to tell your story.
You think people don't want to hear it, and they don't, but they should.
Yeah, but you know what? They just opened their arms up. And it was amazing. Now, I'm not even from the Northeast Kingdom. I was born in Philadelphia, grew up right outside Philly. But it was an important problem that all across the United States. And I promised the community here that I would do something about it. And I just went to town and did it.
They've called it Front Porch. I do believe it should have a subtitle on it. It should be your name.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And keep on top of, keep on sharing, keep on going. And stay alive.
Oh, you're
Well, that's the hardest thing, and I want to tell you something. I was a very high-functioning depressed person. I didn't know I was depressed. I went to work every day. I worked a full-time job, part-time job, went out with the girls. Didn't even know I was depressed until I took that bottle and swallowed those pills and woke up in the psych ward. That's when I knew, wow, I'm depressed.
There. Well, I just think you're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Grace Limpwaite, and I'm a case manager at Northeast Kingdom Human Services. I've been there for about 7 years, and I work with youth and families. I have a lot of kiddos who are in DCF custody, and then I also just serve kids who are struggling with mental health, whether that's suicidal ideation, socialization skills, behavioral. But yeah, I would say mostly mental health and behavioral. And we work with youth I personally work with youth 6 to 21, I would say.
And do you think any of your 21-year-olds will pass through Front Porch?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think some of our youth will. I already know of a couple of my kids who have utilized the Front Porch in the past. And I think that it'll be a great resource for everyone.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm going to pass to your friend over here. Hello.
Hi, I'm Jalen Crapo. I am a social emotional coach at Northeast Kingdom Human Services. I've been here for a little over a year now. I work with kids in the community, and I help them with their communication skills and as well as with their just pretty much working on them with their skills in the community and help them build relationships with other peers and help them to kind of just grow in that aspect.
What are some of their major issues?
Pretty much the same. They have, behavioral issues, mental health challenges, some with suicidal ideation, some with, it really, there's not really like just a broad, it's kind of broad. It
would have to be.
Yeah.
And as far as Front Porch, what are your children thinking of when they come here?
I feel like they would probably think of this as a safe space, somewhere for them to, feel comfortable at where they're at in their challenges and be able to have a safe space for them to reflect on it.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, young lady.
Hi, I'm Jenna Brown. I'm team lead supervisor for the children's department. So I help manage the social emotional coaches and the case managers. I have been there almost 10 years, and so I was a former case manager at one point. And so, working with the kids with mental health issues, behavioral communication, suicidal ideation. I worked a lot with children in DCF custody in the past, and also a lot of children who have gone to residential. So I feel like this is a great opportunity to kind of maybe weather a lot of the children going into residential if we have a safe space in the community.
And this space is absolutely beautiful, don't you think? This is just one of the bedrooms we have here. And the colors and the decorations and the absolute comfort of it all is, I'm moving in.
Yes. Wait till you see the bathrooms.
You could live in the bathroom, yes. Too. Well, thank you very much, ladies. You're all fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you're wondering, some of the fabulous amenities we have in this building at Front Porch, this is the bathroom. I mean, my entire house could fit in here, but it's so clean and so calming. It's so beautiful. And there are people who are suffering with mental issues.
Good day, my name's Ken Wells. I'm Orleans County's District 3 representative, supporting Westmore, Evansville, Brownington, Barton, and Orleans. And just up here for tour, I know Kelsey, met him about a year ago, and I know they've been very excited to get this new facility rolling. They're going to be able to take in 4 people immediately in about 30 days when they open, and congratulations to their new facility. And I know it's been long needed up in this area. I think the next one of its type would either be the Howard Center in Chittenden County or perhaps Bennington or Brattleboro. That's 180 miles south from Newport, so this was really needed. And I know everybody here is excited. They're going to open in 30 days.
And the legislature had a tremendous amount to do with the funding. I hear $2 million came from the legislature.
That is correct. They were all for that. I'm on the Department of Transportation, so I can't take any credit for that. But they're behind it 100%. I think it was a matter of finding a proper area for it and to be, if needed, right beside North Country Hospital, an outstanding hospital. That's got to be a big bonus too. And the key was just finding the area to house this facility. They've done that, and so they're just about ready to kick off.
Well, we're glad. And Newport is a booming place in the future. It's on the rise. It's doing so much with so many positive things. So thank you very much.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.
First of all, welcome to the Front Porch, and saying, I really, truly appreciate everybody that's here. Everybody's a familiar face. I think you've interacted with NKHS in different ways over the months and years leading up to this event, and so I really appreciate everybody who's come out. I see a lot of partners, a lot of staff, and it's really meaningful to have you all here. And it can't be overstated that this project is part of a bigger vision of serving the folks in the NEK and all Vermonters during their time of need. And so the first thing I want to do is just say and express my gratitude to everybody here. And so first to Betty and Chris Barrett. One of the first things when I started here just about 4 years ago was working with the state and Betty and Chris Barrett to kick off the conception of this idea. I know they've been working on it much longer than the 4 years that I've been here, but that was one of the first things that I was exposed to. It was strong community advocacy for supports in the kingdom, especially around mental health. So that was really meaningful to know that there were strong supports from the community, not only to get things done, but also to make sure that Northeast Kingdom Human Services was on the right track in building out the needs and services for people who lived here. I really want to thank the state of Vermont, and so Part of that first initial wave was the Department of Mental Health, AHS, the governor. They were all involved in saying, we want to make this happen. We know that the Northeast Kingdom is underserved, and we're going to make it happen. I really want to thank Vermont Care Partners and other designated and specialized service agencies. I couldn't have done this without you and your support, not only personally, but professionally for NKHS, the support, the statewide support, the network is truly amazing, and knowing that we're all working on the same thing together to serve all Vermonters is a powerful thing to be a part of. I want to thank the city of Newport. Honestly, one of the things that goes kind of under the radar is like zoning and permitting. It is hard, and this was not the first place we went, and but I have to say I'm so glad we landed here, and that the city and the DRB, which is like a weird thing to include in like mental health supports, but it was key that they were very supportive of making this happen. And the hospital's right there, so it's also very conveniently located. I want to thank the Four Pines Foundation for some of the innovative work that has helped the crisis continuum. I really, truly want to thank the staff at NKHS. I think we're celebrating the physical location, but the day-to-day supports are really intense. You see people at their worst, and our staff are incredibly professional and amazing, and just receiving whatever comes in the door and figuring it out with their partners or with the person in front of them. So they are truly amazing. And then all of our community partners. So the hospitals, North Country Hospital, I see is here, NVRH, law enforcement, including Vermont State Police and the Newport PD, St. Johnsbury PD, the town of St. Johnsbury, EMS and Fire Department, Umbrella, Dirty Recovery, NEK-TV, Kingdom Recovery, NAMI. There's more, but that's the list that I drew out of like really partners who have been with us along the way. And so first, I just want to say it's a really joyous moment to open this, but also want to reflect on the seriousness of what we do, which is support people during some of their darkest or most challenging times. So we are really proud to be opening the front porch in the very near future, and acknowledge the hard work that comes with opening something like this. And so for a little context, I just want to say in the last year, in 2024, nearly 6,000 Vermonters visited the local emergency departments across the state for a suicide-related need. The percent of students who attempted suicide in the past 12 months has increased, and especially increased over the last 10 years. And that with the youth in the risk behavior survey that goes out every year, I want to particularly note that rural areas are impacted in a higher level. I also want to note that BIPOC and LGBTQ as well, that we should be really thinking about how do we support folks who are more susceptible to suicidal ideation. 14% of reporting youth reported making a plan to kill themselves in the past year. Service members and veterans are almost twice as likely to die by suicide as non-service members or veterans. So I just want to note some of those statistics, which aren't necessarily uplifting, but I think they're well known, they're well documented, and to put energy and resources into a support like this to make sure that we are offering access and expertise to make sure we can support people when they're struggling. So one thing I also want to note is that the front porch does not exist in isolation. It's part of a crisis continuum, which again, I want to give credit to the state of Vermont for being innovative. Sometimes we just put our head down and just get it done and move on to the next thing. It's a very Vermont thing to do. It's a very NEK thing to do. It's like I accomplished the task, what's next? But I really do want to highlight the fact that the state of Vermont has invested in 988, in mobile crisis, in embedded positions at the Vermont State Police, and in urgent care centers. This isn't the only one in the state, and that is part of a thoughtful research crisis continuum. And so this is one of the last pieces for us, but is part of other supports that can intervene immediately over the phone. We can send somebody to you. If needed, you can come here, and if necessary, we can refer you to a higher level of care. So we are here to talk about the front porch. So what is it? So it's 24/7 urgent care, which basically means it's a walk-in. Come on down, we'll figure it out with you. We're also, the space we're in now is the Crisis Stabilization Center, which has 4 beds, and you can stay up to 10 days. It's meant to be stabilization, it's not residential. It is voluntary, and it's meant to fit into people's lives, and so one of the thoughtful pieces about staying here is that you can come and go. And so we know how important natural supports are, your family life, work. It is really hard to think about taking off work to really tend to your mental health. It feels like a catch-22. And so we've designed this to be flexible, to meet people where they're at and make it really person-centered and saying, okay, what works for you? You can stay every day the whole time, or you can leave during the day, go to work and come back and get the supports when you need it. It also includes peers and clinicians. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about peers and how that's really changed how we think about things and really help support the workforce, but also support how we engage folks. It's community-based, and it's really rooted in strong partnerships. I've named a lot of partners that we work with. So it's a safe place to go with rapid access to care. It's an alternative to the emergency department, and it's really rooted in community-based support in a response to emotional and behavioral health needs. And one thing I do want to emphasize, I think people almost self-select, like, can I get supports here? Like, is the crisis bad enough? Is there some objective crisis standard that would qualify me for admission? And what we really want to tell people is just show up. You don't have to be suicidal or homicidal. You don't have to wait till you can't take it anymore. We want you to show up. Some of the things we see: generalized anxiety, depression, interpersonal conflict, family conflict. Like, just come down and we'll figure it out with you. And so we really want to be clear that this is meant to be a very low or no barrier to meeting folks. And if there is a higher level of care, like I mentioned, the hospital's right here, and we work very closely with first responders and the hospital. So really, to sum this up, is just saying, look, people can move through their challenges at their pace with an agenda and supports that meets their need in the moment. The ultimate vision for the front porch is that we provide a space and supports that meet people where they are, whether that's taking time alone to decompress, get a cup of coffee, take a shower, walk outside in the garden, soon to be maybe next year, not in the winter, or just attend a group that's offering therapeutic services. It can also mean facilitating access to a higher level of care, but we want to make sure that we offer every available option without time constraints before we reach a point where a higher level of care is needed. So I had mentioned peer-based work, and so I really want to emphasize how peer-based work has transformed how we think about engaging folks. I think there's a traditional, almost archetype of, like, what does it mean to get mental health support? I think we associate that most closely with therapy, which is great, and it makes a difference, and we offer that. But I think when we think about what do people need in mental health crisis or substance use crisis if they're looking for help, is how do we connect and engage folks? And I think sometimes a highly clinical approach to things can be stigmatizing and also be hard to approach. And so the peers have provided another way to access supports, and I think created a conduit that's made engaging folks or lessening the stress of approaching these programs much more doable. And so there's a couple key aspects of what a peer support looks like. And again, I want to say we are relatively new to peers, and we're still developing that and know we can do better. But a peer support specialist is a person with lived experience who has been trained to support those who struggle with mental health, trauma, or substance use, and their personal experience of these challenges provides peer support specialists with expertise that professional training cannot replicate. And so it really is the personal experience that connects to someone else that can really bring them in. And so, you know, a couple key characteristics: there's mutuality or shared experience, there's a non-clinical approach, and so peer support is distinct from clinical mental health services like therapy, and it focuses on individual empowerment through demonstrating hope, focusing on strengths and centering around choice, providing education and offering knowledge and resources. It really is meant to be a connection through shared experience. It's recovery oriented. And then we just had a nice quote from a peer staff into saying, you know, I think one of the most significant things that we do is just listen to people. Some of the stigma attached to mental health is bridged by people saying, I've gone through the same thing, let's just chat. This isn't about assessing you or diagnosing you, it's just about listening and support. So I think that can be a much less scary way to approach kind of like what's going to happen if someone's going to give me a diagnosis. Like, we're just here to chat and wrap you in support. So a couple things about the front porch so far. So we're a little over a year in, almost a year and a half. And so year to date this year, we've had 1,133 visits so far. In the last quarter, we've seen co-occurring challenges, so substance use, between a quarter and a third of visitors. In addition to the mental health supports, they also have substance use diagnoses. Just under a third of visitors in the past quarter were not established, so every month we're seeing new people who aren't established with NKHS. It's about 20 to 33% every month. Common recurring issues presented at the front porch: suicidal ideation, depression, familial or interpersonal conflict, unhoused, and anxiety. And over the last quarter, around 74% of walk-ins said they would have sought care at the ED if the front porch was not an option. And then of those folks that did come in, only 1.9% required emergency department or inpatient support across all encounters. So I think one of our mandates is to divert people from the ED, and I think we are doing that. And so, one of the things, I know this is for everything, but one of the things we're really working on too is suicidality. And so over the last year, almost 150 people have presented with suicidal ideation as their primary concern. And so when SI was the primary concern, the front porch had a 26% ED disposition, meaning 74% of people went back to the community with a safety plan, but 26 people did need a higher level of care. So that is different than our totals, which is much less. And so as we're dealing with higher acuity, we need to keep working on that and elevate, our ability to support folks who are suffering from suicidal ideation, and how do we support them here. And so folks who did present with suicidal ideation stayed between 4 and 6 hours on average over at our urgent care. And then during these encounters, we also had 100% peer involvement, which was amazing, and a safety plan was completed with every single person. And so we talked a lot about data, we talked a lot about this physical space, but what does this mean to people in our community and in Vermont? And so basically the way we look at this is a place to show up when you're in need. That's it. That's as simple as we want it to be, is just show up. If you feel like you need something, don't overthink it, just come in. And again, we're sometimes asked, is there some qualifying event? And the answer is no. And we want to tell people and our partners that we'll just figure it out with you. And if it's not here, we will do a warm handoff. And so why does this matter? Because our community matters. We live here, we're part of the community. I think because the state takes seriously that Vermonters should be helping Vermonters. We don't want to send them out of state, we don't want to send them out of their community. That people should be supported to stay in their communities if possible so they can be close to loved ones. Their work in places they know best and have opportunities to contribute. And so our mission is, we're all about being human. Our mission is to empower individuals, families, and communities by promoting hope, health, and support. And I think this fits squarely into what we're doing. And so I do want to just sum up. We had a lovely testimonial from somebody. And so I just want to read that to kind of close out my remarks. And so the person said, the front porch isn't just a place to go, it's a lifeline. The compassion and understanding I found there helped me survive my darkest moments. For me and for many others, front porch is more than a place to go. It's a life-saving, one-of-a-kind, non-medical mental health crisis lifeline. I live with PTSD from medical trauma, and traditional emergency medical settings can be extremely triggering. Front porch offers something completely different, a calm, clean, supportive environment where I can breathe, relax, feel safe, and stabilize. The staff are welcoming, professional, and deeply empathic. Many bring lived experience, which allows for genuine peer-to-peer connection, something rare and invaluable. I never have to explain my pain. They already understand. They meet me where I am, helping me process overwhelming emotions and find stability with empathy and reassurance without judgment. When the anniversary of my trauma came, I was struggling and needed a safe place to be. The staff went above and beyond to make sure I had the space, accommodating my needs with kindness and care. Their compassion and flexibility carried me through one of the hardest weekends of the year. Front Porch provides 24/7 walk-in access for anyone experiencing a mental health crisis, no appointment or referral needed. The combination of professionalism and lived experience is what makes Front Porch so effective and why I'm such a strong advocate for this model. Staff balance attentiveness with respect for space, providing consistent check-ins, emotional safety, and an atmosphere that supports recovery rather than fear. This approach has made a profound difference in my own healing, and I hope it can be expanded so that everyone in Vermont has access to this kind of care. For those of us who come to Front Porch during our darkest hours, these small gestures mean the world. They remind us that we are seen, valued, and not alone. So we just give a round of applause for our staff. So I had mentioned we had a community advocate when I started, and she is here, Betty Barrett, and we're going to invite you to come say a few words.
I stopped her from coming up. I'm her husband, Chris. I kid about being the Uber driver, but it's a privilege. She's the most dedicated advocate I've ever met. She's a force to be reckoned with, and I'm proud to say she's my wife.
I didn't write anything up, so it's just going to come off the top of my head. I am a 2-time suicide attempt survivor myself.
Speak up.
The first time, it was in 1988. I took an overdose of pills. I did not know I was depressed because I was a high-functioning depressed person. I went to work every day. I went out with the girls. And I did my food shopping. I did everything. And when I woke up, I was in a psych ward right outside Philadelphia. And I was shocked. It was like, I'm depressed? How can I be depressed, right? So I was there for 2 weeks, and it was controlled, organized, and I learned a lot. I was hooked up with a psychologist that was specialized in domestic violence. And I saw her for 2 years. Before I left the hospital, I had my appointments twice a week to see her. So, anyway, in 2004, my son Michael died by suicide. I was living up here, but I was in Pennsylvania at the time when he died by suicide. And I can't tell you where my head was because I don't remember. I just remember screaming. But I did remember what I was told during my therapy to get through that. And then in 2012, I was approached to join Out of the Darkness Walks to Prevent Suicide through the American Foundation to Prevent Suicide. The best thing I ever did. Did it for 5 years with 3 other mothers. It was very successful. Almost 300 walkers and over $20,000 in donations. And I did it for 5 years. I got embedded with the community. Now, I'm not even from here, but this is where I live. This is my community now. I got embedded with the community, and I heard stories. The mental treatment wasn't good. So I said, okay. So I thought, all right, this is something that I can work on. So I started in 2017, and I started with the ER because they were housing mental patients in the ER. So I talked to Claudio Fort, and he came up with a brilliant idea, but then he left, COVID hit, and it was like, okay, back to square one. So then, I'm watching the news, and I hear $20 million given to...
When they closed the Woodside facility,
Yeah.
they're giving it for a place over in Essex.
$20 million, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm going to ask for some money for up here. So that's what I did. I wrote a letter to the governor, and I said, we need something up here. And I told him what was going on. I said, you know, the only time that we get any kind of
Publicity.
publicity is at least pee-pee time. And I said, we need help up here. Guess what? He put $2 million in the budget for the building. And this is what we have. So I had a meeting with the Vermont Department of Mental Health. I had a meeting with Kelsey, and this is what we have. I can't tell you how ecstatic I am that this is exactly what I wanted. I did not want ER white. I wanted people to be welcoming when they come in. And they can look at this and it looks like a home. You know, you can come in here and you can sit, you can spend the night or whatever, and you get good help. Because that's the main thing that you need, is good help. Because I put everything that I learned with Michael's death. In 2021, I lost my oldest son to pancreatic cancer. So I had to use that again. And just this year, I found out that my last living son has stage 4 cancer. But he's doing okay, and he's not out of the woods yet. We went down to Pennsylvania for 2 weeks, and he's got good spirit. He had to have his eye removed, and the tumor was removed. It was the size of the surgeon's fist. So I've been dealing with that, but like I said, I'm using what I've learned, and I've used it with him, you know, to try to keep positive. But if you want to cry, cry. You know, he's 51, but if you're never too old to cry. So I'm using everything that I've learned, and I'm just, you know, ecstatic with everything that's going on here for the people in the Northeast Kingdom. And because like I said, I got so embedded with everybody, and, you know, I know what it's like. I know what it's like. And talking to Kelsey and what they're doing here, and talking with the people that work here, they're just really making an impact on the community. And I ask around, don't I?
You do.
I ask around. Because if there's a problem, Kelsey, I will go to Kelsey.
And we even met at Martha's Diner for a couple meetings.
Yes.
Just, I'm not plugging Martha's Diner, but I am. It's a great place. There's two groups I want to point out, and that's the facilities group that's been doing an extraordinary job. Where's Derek? He's not here.
He's right here.
And also Josh and his team for putting the whole program together after research and deliberations and collaborations and receiving input. Kelsey and Josh and the team receiving input from us, which meant a lot to us. And for this to come to fruition like this is beyond our expectations. Thank you very much.
I don't have words for it. I mean, it's just
Breathtaking.
Yeah. Just breathtaking.
She's speechless.
I am. And you know, we're an Italian. It takes a lot for that.
Come back and welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
She is.
She is a tough act to follow, but yet here I am in a position to have to or get to follow. So good afternoon, my name is Emily Hawes, and I get to be the commissioner for the Department of Mental Health. And I've also gotten to be a part of this project since I started at the department in this role in 2021. And so it's been really wonderful to see that process unfold through the legislative activity, through all of the conversations that the deputy at the time, Allison Crump, was navigating, as well as the buy-in from the community here in Newport. So thank you. Now I'll get to what I'm actually supposed to say. They don't let me go off script very often. But I'm so glad to be here today and to celebrate the opening of this new front porch building and the addition of 4 new crisis beds at NKHS. This is a big step forward for mental health care in the Northeast Kingdom and for all of Vermont. Front Porch is part of Vermont's network of mental health urgent cares, and these programs give folks options beyond the hospital emergency department. It offers safe, supportive spaces for short-term help when they're in crisis. They're designed to be less overwhelming, more comfortable, and focused on the needs of each person, no matter their insurance or background. What makes Front Porch truly special is the care folks find here. The team includes therapists and peers with lived experience, all trained in evidence-based practices. They provide human-to-human connection, guidance, and support, and they're ready to meet anyone who comes through these doors with understanding and care. The new crisis beds take that support a step further. They give folks a safe, short-term place to stay when they need more support than urgent care can provide, but also less than a hospital. Here, folks can stabilize in their community, stay connected to family and supports, and receive therapy and guidance in a comfortable and supportive environment. These beds complete a key piece of Vermont's crisis system, and together with 988 for someone to call, mobile crisis for someone to respond, and urgent care for folks to get the right care, and programs like Front Porch for somewhere to go. And these beds ensure folks get the right care in the right place at the right time. And the building itself plays a key role in supporting people. You'll notice calming colors, comfortable places to sit, and small details that make the space feel welcoming. I assume if there were a real emergency, somebody would say, be quiet. All right. There are also plans for a community garden and a space for children and families. All of this was put together with one goal in mind: helping people feel safe, cared for, and respected when they come through these doors. This achievement wouldn't have been possible without collaboration between the state of Vermont, the Department of Mental Health, the Agency of Human Services, Northeast Kingdom Human Services, and our network of designated agencies, along with the state to bring funding to this vision and bring it back to life. Together, we're building programs that meet folks where they are, reducing stigma and connecting them with the resources we need. As we celebrate today, we're reminded that our work continues. We need to keep investing in community-based options like the Front Porch so that every Vermonter has access to care that is compassionate, effective, and close to home. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. Your dedication changes lives every day. Congratulations to NKHS on this incredible milestone, and thank you for leading the way.